With many updates on what we are to expect with the Halloween game, what is it looking like, and could this finally be the horror game fans have been waiting for? The game is officially titled Halloween, and it's based directly on John Carpenter's 1978 classic film. It's being developed by Illfonic, the studio behind Friday the 13th the game, alongside Gun Interactive, and it's built in Unreal Engine 5, which already tells us that atmosphere is a major focus. This isn't a loose adaptation either. The developers are clearly aiming for authenticity, suspense and slow burn terror rather than arcade-style action. Right now, the game is scheduled to release on the 8th of September 2026 on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and on PC. However, there is no word yet on last-gen consoles or Nintendo platforms. So what are we actually to expect with the game? Well, at its core, Halloween the game is an asymmetrical multiplayer horror game, which means one player controls Michael Myers and 4 players control heroes. From what we can gather from the information that we have received so far is that heroes do have objectives. So instead of hiding, they actually have objectives like helping NPCs, surviving the night and attempting escapes whilst Michael stalks the map. Michael himself we have not got too much on, but he is designed to feel slow, inevitable and terrifying. When we look at Michael Myers, we do know that he is fully playable, and Nick Castle, the original actor who played Michael in the 1978 movie, did return to do motion capture for the game. That means that Michael's movements, posture and presence are being recreated as faithfully as possible, which is definitely good news. Although we do not know too much, we do know that Michael does have some abilities, such as shape jumping, which is a signature teleport-like stalking move, very similar to the one that Jason had in the Friday the 13th the game. This will allow Michael to vanish into shadows and reappear unexpectedly to close the distance on survivors, mirroring his classic film behaviour. He is also very likely to have shadow and stealth mechanics, which uses darkness and stealth to stalk and ambush survivors. We do know that Michael cannot be killed, sticking very true to the original movie's narrative. This means that he is a massive threat to NPCs and hero players. Michael can't be permanently killed, but he can be detained by sufficient police presence, which means that survivors must disrupt his ability to stalk effectively. However, I must highlight here that Michael's stats and full ability list have not been released as of yet, so all of this may be subject to change. Moving on from Michael, we do have the playable survivors, also known as the Heroes of Haddonfield. These characters are survivor heroes, ordinary townsfolk with unique backstories and expected playstyles. The official website has released bios for these characters, but the exact abilities are not yet known. The information on the website shows us currently 5 Heroes of Haddonfield, although I am sure many more will be added in the future. The first hero that we see is a guy called Thomas Armitage. He is a 21-year-old college football star with natural leadership and physical strength. I would imagine that his expected role would therefore be a team leader, likely strong with weapons and directing survivor actions. Another character that we see is Jennifer Aarons, a meticulous planner working at a bookstore saving for college. Her planning abilities will likely give her strategic gameplay, which may excel at resource gathering and tactical support. Another female character that we see is Tanya Harrison, a social connector with an upbeat personality who works at a record store. From her description, her expected role will be a rally-type character who can motivate NPCs or survivors, possibly buffing team actions. We also see Rachel Callahan, a punk-leaning outsider fascinated by death and the occult. Her expected role will be an investigator or specialist who may interact with bodies and environments to track Myers or uncover clues. There is also Marcus Navarro, a brooding biker with a lone wolf streak but protective instincts. He is likely going to be an exploration expert, possibly excelling at vehicle repair or quick traversal. Again, I do need to highlight that the developers have not yet detailed specific in-game abilities for these characters on the official website. They described roles primarily through personalities and implied playstyles. Whilst explicit abilities or skill trees aren't fully published as of yet, the official reveal statements do emphasise that Michael Myers will have stealth and sudden appearance, and the heroes will have survival mechanics, tactical gameplay, and improvised combat. Detailed names of individual hero abilities are not available as of yet. However, coverage repeatedly notes that the developers will share more about the unique gameplay functionality in future updates. We have also had an insight of some of the maps that are due to be shown in the game. However, not too much details have been provided at this stage. As well as being an asymmetric multiplayer horror game, there will also be a single player mode. Unlike some asymmetrical horror games, Halloween the game will be including a single player story mode. This will be set in Haddonfield, focus on the narrative and cinematic moments. It will be playable offline, and bots supported for solo play will be available. Details are limited, but the developers have confirmed it's more than just tutorials or museum and cabin modes seen previously. It will be a real story experience tied to Halloween night in 1978. This will also put the player in Michael's POV and see Halloween night through his eyes. Although we have had this confirmed, there is very little to go on at the moment. There's currently no full gameplay demo yet, no deep dive on progression systems or perks, no confirmed beta or playtest dates, and limited info on map variety beyond Haddonfield themes. That lack of gameplay footage has made some fans cautious, especially given Illfonic's mixed history with long-term support. Saying that, Halloween is definitely one of the most anticipated games of 2026. Fans are once again excited to see a beloved horror franchise getting this game treatment. The hype around authenticity, the return to slow stalking horror, and also the mixture of single player mode and asymmetrical multiplayer horror mode is very exciting. However, there are concerns which mainly revolve around post-launch support, balance, and whether lessons were learned from Friday the 13th. I do think that Halloween the game has massive potential. If Illfonic deliver on atmosphere, tension, and long-term support, this could be one of the best horror games that we have ever seen, and may also be something that finally decrowns Dead by Daylight. I know that that franchise does have a lot of love, and there are many fans out there who still play that game to this day. However, to me it is one of those games that feels stale, and something is needed to come in and take over. However, until we see raw gameplay and until people have finally tested the beta, we won't know exactly the impact that this game will have, but I am definitely keeping very optimistic. So as always, what do you guys think? What are your thoughts about the Halloween game, and what do you want to see? Let me know down in the comments section. If you have enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and switch on that notifications button, as I will be uploading more content like this. Thank you so much for watching. You can check out my other content here. With that being said, I will see you in the next video.